for Crazy Life Scotland. If you're new here, my name's Fiona, and today I am going to make a t-shirt for my dad. It's his 70th birthday today. Yes, I'm running a bit late making it, but hey ho, he's going to get it. I've shown you how to use Cricut Design Space and a Cricut to cut vinyl and like heat transfer vinyl and put it on a t-shirt in a previous video, so I'll link that if you've not seen it. This one's a bit different, however, because I'm going to be using printable heat transfer vinyl rather than the normal one that we just cut. I'll explain more in a second. First of all, please excuse the dogs playing. I say it all the time because at some point they're always going to play. Right now they're right beside the tripod. It's constant. At least, whoop! I was going to say at least they're not barking just now, but they are having quite the carry on. Look at them. I'm going to turn you around and we'll get into it. So what is printable heat transfer vinyl and why do we use it? Basically what it is it's like printing on a bit of paper, except it's a special kind of vinyl that you can then transfer onto a t-shirt. Now I've got two different kinds. This one here is for dark t-shirts and this one here is for inkjet light, so that's for lighter t-shirts. Honestly, I don't know what the difference is between them, but because there are separate ones, I use the separate ones. And it's a grey t-shirt, a light grey t-shirt that I'm going to be printing on today, so I'm going to use the light one. I think I got these from, I was going to say Amazon. I think I got this one from Amazon, but this one is gmcrafts.co.uk, which is a site I use a lot for vinyl because it's an excellent site here in the UK and it's free shipping. Right, so the reason we use it is, in the last video where I cut the heat transfer vinyl and put it on a t-shirt, it was a fairly simple design which was easy to cut. However, what I'm going to be using today is more of a photograph than an SVG file. So it would be an absolute nightmare to cut it all into layers and colours and layer it all up. So it's not really suitable just for normal, like an SVG cutting file, for doing normal designs on t-shirts. The picture that I'm going to be using, which I'll show you in a minute, would be suitable for sublimation. However, not everybody's got sublimation printers and things, and the t-shirt that I've got isn't polyester, so I wouldn't be able to sublimate on it anyway. And that is where the printable heat transfer vinyl comes in. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to open up Cricut Design Space. I have got the image downloaded onto my computer, and what I will say while this is loading up is this is an image that my husband found on the internet and he sent it to me thinking it would be funny for my dad and it would be perfect. But what that means is I don't know where it came from. I do not know if it's copyrighted. It probably is, and so for that reason I would not use this design to sell. However, I'm using it for personal use, so I'm going to give it a go. I think that's okay as long as you're using something for personal use. If not, if the person who designed it sees this and wants to come after me, then okay. I'll say sorry in advance, but I think it's okay to do that anyway. Right, I've not been on Cricut Design Space for a wee while, so it's maybe done an update or two. I'm going to go up to New Project, and it gives me a blank canvas. Now, I'm going to upload my image, so I'm going to go into this left-hand toolbar, click Upload, and then I'm going to go to Upload Image. And rather than browsing, I like to drag and drop the file because it means that I know it's the right one. So I'm going to go into my folder, my downloads, and I've just downloaded it, so it'll be this one. So I just click it and drag it over. Look at that, once a biker, always a biker, and it's the old guy with his Zimmer. Now my dad's just turning 70 today and he has been a biker all his life, so we thought this would be hilarious for him. Right, and because it's print and cut, I am going to do complex, continue, and I don't need to remove any backgrounds or anything. I want it just as it is, so I'm going to click apply and continue. And if I was to try and cut it, I would just get a blank square because it's print and cut. So I'm going to select this one, upload. Again, sorry if you hear the tippy tapping, that's my dog playing. And then it shows up here, so I'm just going to click on it until it's got the green border around it, and then go down to the bottom right and click Add to Canvas. And there it is. Now, I'm sure you can see what I mean about if I was to try to make that a cut file, it would be pretty much impossible because there's so many colours and shades and everything. You just couldn't do it. There are programs on the internet that you can use to change a PNG file, which is like a photograph like this, into an SVG file, which is a cutting file. But it would just be a nightmare. There's no way we would be able to get it looking as good as this. So I'm going to stick with print and cut. Now, size-wise, I'm going to have to go with the size of my paper because I can't print any bigger than that. Right, dogs? So it's A4 and it tells me it's 210 by 297 millimetres. So I'm going to do 21 centimetres by 29 centimetres. So I come up to the size, I unlock the padlock, and I want it to be, what did I say, 21 centimetres wide. I'm just going to type in 21 and then tab across, and I want it to be 29 long. Now, what you will see is over here in my layers panel, there's a little red exclamation mark. If you get that, click on it and see what it says. Not supported by Joy. Basically, the last time I used Cricut Design Space, I was using my Cricut Joy rather than my Explorer, and Design Space still thinks that I'm using that. So if I click here and change it to Cricut Explore Family, hopefully that little red should go away. Image is too large. It's too large for A4 paper. It's too large for 20. Oh, right. Oh, of course, because I forgot that print and cut, it has to have the black box round it. So what I'm going to go to is auto resize image and see what it gives us. So 16.58 by 22.9, that'll do. That's fine. I'm quite happy with this. And there's nothing else that I want to do to it. So I'm going to click Make It. Now, it's always good to read your instructions on your vinyl because a lot of vinyls, printable vinyls, you don't mirror. However, I just checked this one and it's saying inkjet light paper requires your image to be printed in reverse or mirrored onto the plain side of the material. Always single sheet feed the transfer papers, allow the ink to dry and do not apply until 10 minutes after printing. So we are going to click mirror. That's going to mirror it like that. We're going to click continue, send to printer. Right, this is my sublimation printer. I don't want that. I want it to go to this printer. I'm leaving the add bleed on. That basically just gives you a little bit extra around the edge in case the calibration's off slightly on your Cricut. And then I always click use system dialog, and that lets you control the printer quality. So I'm going to click print. And it brings this little box up. Now, if you don't see the little box, it could be behind this screen. So you would just X out of it and you would see it. Now, it still thinks that I want the sublimation printer. No, thank you. I want this one. I'm going to click Preferences. I want it in portrait. I don't need to worry about printing on both sides. I'm going to go up to where it says Paper Stroke Quality. Automatically select the paper source. I'm going to leave it on plain paper because it's not glossy or anything like that. And quality settings, I want it to be on best, because whatever is printed is exactly what's going to be on our t-shirt. So we want it to look as good as possible. Then I'm going to press OK and print. And it says that I've got an error. Bear with me. Okay, so my printer is very temperamental, but it is finally printing after a lot of jiggery pokery. I don't know what's wrong with it. Anyway, as you can see, the image is now being printed out on the plain side of the vinyl, and it's got the little boxes round it, the little registration marks that Cricut needs to know where it's cutting. Now, the instructions on the vinyl says to leave to dry for 10 minutes, so I'm going to do that. I'm not even going to try to put it on the cutting mat for a good 10 minutes just to make sure the ink is properly dry. So I'm going to do that and then I'll come back to you. Right, so this is nice and dry now. So I have put it on my Cricut mat, and obviously image up, that's the registration marks that the Cricut uses to work out where it's cutting. And on the screen it says set base material. I am going to set it to printable vinyl white, and I'm actually going to put it on more pressure because my needle's getting a bit blunt now. My blade, I mean my needle. It says load tools and material. So now when I'm doing print and cut, I close the top lid. And sometimes I need to put the light off as well, because I'll show you in a little second. So I'm just going to put the mat in and then press the flashing button. Then I'm going to press C. Now, what you will see, maybe, it's, see the little light that's come on? That's what it uses to search for those registration marks at the corners, so that it knows where to cut. Sometimes if the room is too light, it has difficulty seeing it, and you need to put the light off. And I always put the lid down just to give it that wee bit extra shade, so it's easier for it to see. But I always keep everything crossed at this point. It's going to read it, because there's nothing worse when it doesn't. Here we go. Oh, it looks like it is reading it. If it's not, it usually goes right up to the top and stops. Here we go. Here's hoping it cuts in the right place. I did put the bleed on, so there was a little extra just in case it's not 100%. But we will find out soon. Usually with something like this, it's a block. It shouldn't be too bad. Right, I'm going to take it out and then let's see. So unload. Right, that's all looking good. I peeled the mat away from the vinyl rather than the other way around, so it hasn't all curled up. When we check the instructions, we can see it's 15 seconds at 175 degrees C, and it's a hot peel. So let's go do that. Now, I've got an easy press as well as a big heat press, but because of the size of that, I think I would feel better doing it on the heat press. If you have got the easy press or even just an iron, just make sure that you do get equal heat all over the transfer. But I am going to set this now. So I'm switching it on. And the temperature I want to be 175 degrees C. Okay, the time, it said 15 seconds. And then I just need to wait until that's heated up. While I'm waiting, I'm going to get my t-shirt on the heat press. Right, with any heat transfer material, any heat transfer project, oh for goodness sake Fiona, any project using heat transfer vinyl, you should always heat your material for a few seconds first, just to take out any moisture and any wrinkles so that you get a nice smooth finish. So I'll do that while it's heating up. That should be enough. I always put something down a Teflon sheet just to protect my material and my heat press. So I'm going to find my little grid. My lovely friend Kathy gave me this grid that you can use to make sure that you're getting it properly centred. So I'll do that while I'm waiting. That should be about right. and we put the image face down. You can use heat tape if you like to make sure that it stays in place. Let me just see where the centre is. The image won't be that big compared to the t-shirt because my dad's a big man. Right, hopefully that should be about straight. I'll take this off now. I will put this on and I will come back to you when my heat press is ready. Right, don't know if you can see that, that's up to temperature. So I'm going to, I've got my Teflon sheet over the image. Put that down until it beeps at me to say that that's been 15 seconds. There we go. Now, this is where we hope that it's worked well because I've only got the one t-shirt. Right, I'm going to take you over to my desk where we will unpeel it. Of course, it will be hot, so wear a heat glove. And it's a hot peel, so let's go for it. I'm going to peel it off slowly. How good is that? I love it. My dad is going to absolutely love that. So, once a biker, always a biker. Right, I'm going to put you back on the ring light and hold it up so that you can see it properly. Right, and this is where we hope it's straight. Let's have a look. Hey, once a biker, always a biker. See how well that's... You can barely feel it at all. I really like that vinyl actually, it's really good. Once a biker, always a biker. And it's so easy. What I would say is, I've shown you the basics. Always check the instructions on your printable vinyl because it might be different. And they are easy to follow. But hopefully this video will give you some idea how to get your image into Design Space, how to size it, do the cut and print, and then how to actually press it. So if you want to see what my dad thinks of this t-shirt and the other t-shirt that I'm about to finish for him, please do watch the vlog, his birthday vlog, which I will link for you. And yeah, you'll be able to see his face. If you don't want to see all the other rubbish, you can fast forward past that if you're not into vlogs. But yeah, you'll be able to see both t-shirts and what he thinks of it when we give him them in his birthday meal. Thanks for watching everybody. I hope you have enjoyed this. If you found it useful, please hit the thumbs up button. Talk to me in the comments below. Let me know if there's anything specific that you want me to do on this channel, and I will certainly do my best for you. Subscribe if you haven't already. It's completely free, and if you hit the little bell notification until it says all, you'll get notified every time I upload a video, which is a vlog on a Monday and a Thursday, sometimes a haul, usually a Temu haul on a Tuesday, and I try to do a crafty video most Wednesdays. So thanks so much again, and I will see you in our next one. Thanks everyone. Bye!